Her eyes slowly opened when she felt well-rested. The cool morning air made her curl up slightly. As she fully opened her eyes, she saw someone laying nearby, propping herself up on her elbow, smiling at her. "Good morning," Awerin greeted her cheerfully, as if she had been awake for a while. Mevika smiled back. "Have you been up long?" "I've been awake for a while. I've been watching you sleep, waiting for you to wake up." "Were you watching me?" Mevika laughed. "I don't know. Maybe I fell in love," Awerin said with a grin. "Oh, must be a deep hole you fell into." "Yeah, I think so. Want to help me out?" Awerin playfully held out her hand. "Nope, I won't pull you out. You fell in, so you stay in there." Awerin pouted. "You don't want me to get out. Sounds like someone wants to keep Mether." "Never said that. I just don't want you falling for someone else." "Ooh, sounds like someone's jealous. Maybe that means you do have feelings for me." MMM. Mevika scrunched up her nose, then moved closer and wrapped her arms around Awerin, who was lying on her stomach, slightly on her side. As she nestled in, her face fit perfectly into the crook of Awerin's neck. It was the perfect spot to snuggle in and be affectionate. "If I really do have feelings for you, will you take care of me?" "Of course. I'm super rich, you know. I'm about to inherit a whole hotel from my dad. How many rooms do you need me to give you?" "Maybe the whole floor," Awerin teased, taking the chance to show off a little. After all, she really was wealthy. "Are you serious?" Mevika laughed. "Using a whole hotel to lure me in. It didn't work, did it? Tempting you with money?" Awerin hugged Mevika tightly. "Then I'll just give you my heart instead." "What? People just give their hearts away like that." "This one's special. Don't you want it? It might not have as many rooms as my hotel, but it still has 4. Mevika tilted her head up to look at the person who kept flirting with her. "My heart has 4 chambers." Awerin made a tiny heart shape with her fingers over her chest, then held it out to Mevika. "Take it." She pouted, face grinning. Mevika burst out laughing. "Wait, Awerin, are you seriously making jokes like this?" She laughed even harder. "Ugh." Awerin, the one being teased, smiled awkwardly. "Why, I can't." "You can." Mevika tried to hold back her laughter but failed. "That was so funny." "You did great, it was cute." She clapped lightly. Leaned down to get closer to Mevika's face. "How cute!" "Cute, ah, don't block my view." Mevika whined as Awerin pressed their foreheads together, blocking her sight. "Why, do you want to look at me? If you have feelings, just admit it." "There you go again." Mevika giggled, playfully pushing Awerin's shoulder. But before she could react, Awerin leaned in and kissed her, a soft kiss, just once before pulling back to look at her face. Mevika met her gaze and smiled sweetly, feeling incredibly happy. It was the first time Ish had ever woken up to someone and felt this way. And then Awerin kissed her again. They shared several light kisses before their lips met in a deeper, more passionate embrace, filled with love and longing. It was desire. It was longing. And the truth was, they were completely captivated by each other. "I want to wake up and see you like this every day," Awerin murmured after pulling away from the kiss. She lay there, absent-mindedly playing with Mevika's hair, wanting to savor this private moment for as long as possible. "Are you planning to take care of me then? Will you wake up Tojthra every morning? Can you cook for me?" "Of course. I can cook. I'm really good at it. When I studied abroad, I had to cook for myself all the time." "Wow, so you're good at your job and good at cooking too. You're good at everything, huh? Smart, good-looking, and pretty good in bed too. Whoever dates you is gonna go crazy for sure." Mevika smiled dreamily, unintentionally voicing her admiration. "Whoever becomes my girlfriend will probably go crazy. So, do you want to go crazy?" Awerin asked, tilting Mevika's chin up. "Ah," Mevika immediately realized her mistake. "Yes, it was you. You are the one who is going crazy, even though you trying to hide it for so long." Teased, noticing Mevika's flustered expression. "So, will you go crazy for me first? Or will I go crazy for you?" "Ugh, stop it." Mevika squirmed, trying to escape. "Maple, you're blushing." Awerin laughed, tightening her arms around Mevika as she tried to wriggle away. "You are, aren't you?" "Stop teasing me." Mevika finally stopped struggling, letting Awerin hold her. She didn't really want to escape. The warmth of this embrace was too comforting. "MMM." Awerin hummed softly, resting her cheek against Mevika's head. "I told you, 80% of the things I joke about turn out to be true. And just now I said a lot of things that were true." "Like what?" Mevika pulled back slightly, looking at her, ready to listen. Serious about this. Awerin gave a soft smile, looking straight into Mevika's eyes. "After the auction, I'm going to ask you to be my girlfriend." Mevika felt a sudden heat rise to her face the moment Awerin said those words. She was probably blushing. Awerin could probably see it too. Awerin's gaze remained steady, unwavering. There was no teasing in her eyes. She meant every word. "And I want us to make another promise." Her voice was gentle yet firm. She took Mevika's hand and pressed a soft kiss to the back of it. Promise me that no matter what happens with the auction, our relationship will stay the same. Mevika didn't answer right away. She held Awaren's gaze, thinking for a moment, but there was no hesitation. Then she smiled. All right. I'll keep everything the same between us. If you do too, of course. Awaren chuckled softly, happiness evident in her voice. She leaned in, wrapping her arms around Mevika without any pretense, as if she were seeking comfort. This was what Mevika wanted, to see Awaren show her feelings more freely. Awaren gently kissed Mevika's forehead, lingering there for a long moment. At that moment, both of their hearts were racing, beating fast together in the same rhythm. What's this? Athiwit laughed as he scrolled through the tablet his 50-year-old secretary had handed him. Nutakorn's daughter is making headlines with Ration. He let out another loud laugh. A private dinner together, huh? Anything special about it? You don't think they're making a deal about the auction, do you? If they're agreeing to be first and second together, the secretary commented. It's something to consider. But would Superior really choose to make a deal with Ration? That doesn't seem like the smartest move. They should be sharp enough to see that, or are they underestimating him? Hard to say. In my opinion, if we and Superior hadn't viewed each other as direct competitors from the start and had already figured out the conditions to secure first and second place, we might actually be the best option for them. Athiwit smiled. That's why I had AI do something. If she succeeds, Great and Grow is out off the game. So it's possible that Great and Grow made an offer, but Superior turned it down. Who knows? Honestly, I'm not sure whether Ration is more interested in the auction or in Nutakorn's daughter. I'd say the latter might have more influence, the secretary chuckled. But the auction plays a role too. Problem. Let them be in the headlines for now. It's a good distraction. Athiwit smirked. Media won't even notice that the real person who currently having a relationship with that woman is actually my daughter. Food's good, don't you think so? Awaren asked casually as she and Mevika enjoyed their breakfast at the hotel. They had left their room around 10 in the morning, still wearing the same clothes from yesterday. After eating, they took a stroll through some nearby shops by the beach. There, they bought matching patterned pants. Awaren chose navy blue, while Mevika picked orange. Now both of them wore the same white tank tops, unintentionally ending up in coordinated outfits. While wandering around, they also bought a comfortable button-up cotton shirt each, to have as a spare for their trip back to Bangkok the next day. After walking around for a while, they returned to their room to change before heading out for lunch together. I'm full. That was delicious, Mevika said, quickly putting another bite of food into her mouth. As Shechud, she thought about something she had been meaning to bring up with Awaren since last night. But since Awaren had seemed stressed, Shehad decided to wait. Now that she looked much better, it seemed like the right time. Yesterday, I ran into someone. Well, I should say it wasn't on purpose. Who? Ration. What? Awaren immediately put down her spoon. You saw him, where? At a Japanese restaurant. He booked a private room and made an appointment through my secretary. He came under the name of a company called GoProbs. I didn't realize it had anything to do with Great and Grow at first. Later, I asked my secretary to check, and it turns out it's a business his younger brother started, dealing with sports equipment and accessories. Since he used that company name, I didn't know it was him. Thanks for telling me, and luckily, you're safe. Awaren sighed, pausing her meal. Why do you say that? Mevika frowned. I know he's a flirt, people have warned me, but it sounds like you know something more. He's the type who can't stand being rejected. The more someone ignores him, the more he wants to win them over. He doesn't always succeed, but tries hard at first, which is probably why he hates me by now. Awaren laughed, shrugging it off. Why would he hate you? Don't tell me you. Of course. Awaren rolled her eyes. Guys like that are disgusting. He's exactly the kind of man women should stay far away from. I had a feeling he was interested in me, but I wondered why he wasn't after you instead. You're beautiful, confident, anyone would want to get close to you. You think I'm strikingly beautiful? Awaren's serious expression shifted into a playful smile. So, does that mean everyone wants to get close to me, including you? Don't joke around right now. Okay, I'll keep telling the story. Where was I? She narrowed her eyes, thinking for a moment before continuing. Ah, right. It was around the time I had just returned from studying abroad. My dad took me to a lot of social events to introduce me to people in the business world. At one of those events, Ration was there. And let me tell you, out of all the women in that place, he made a straight beeline for me. Well, that makes sense. You're okay, never mind, I won't compliment you. Were you about to praise me? Just keep going with the story. Mevika quickly redirected the conversation. All right, so he came over and started chatting with me. I just talked to him out of politeness because there were a lot of people around. That night, he asked for my contact information, but I told him we should only exchange contacts if we ever had actual business to discuss. That was his first rejection. After that, I ran into him at other events. It was almost like heck knew where I would be. He'd approach me the moment I walked in. Then even sent me an invitation to one of his private events. I took one look at it, handed it back, and told him straight up that I wasn't going. He looked offended that I left right away so he wouldn't have to force a smile. She chuckled before continuing. The third time was at a friend's bar during a late-night gathering. Turns out he knew my friend too. Later that night, while I was chatting with Somyeon who was about to head home, Ration suddenly staggered toward me, acting drunk, and leaned on me like he needed support. Then he tried to wrap his arms around me like some wasted guy looking for balance. So I shoved him away, hard enough that he stumbled back and landed on the floor. I don't know if he was actually drunk or just putting on a show, but he definitely wasn't expecting me to throw him off like that. While he was still in the ground, I crouched down next to him and said Awerin paused, recalling the moment vividly in her mind. I don't know if you're really drunk or just pretending. And I don't know what makes you think you can flirt with any woman you want. The ones who have fallen for your tricks, I feel sorry for them. And as for those Hodgets swept up in your shallow charm, well, I'm not one of them. Not now, not ever. A guy who thinks so filthily about women, if you're drunk, you probably won't even remember this tomorrow. But I hope you remember what I just said. Awerin smiled as she recalled the words she had thrown at Ration that night. She hadn't wanted to make a scene from the start. If he had just left her alone after the second time, that would have been the end of it. But by the third time, he had deliberately planned a way to get handsy with her, thinking he could break past her boundaries. She had never let him get closer than a single step and had never entertained his advances. It wasn't just because she didn't like men. It was also because if a woman were to like a man, he certainly shouldn't be the kind of man who thought could manipulate and take advantage of women just because he was rich. Maybe plenty of people fell for his wealth, but Awerin saw right through him. All he had was a hollow shell. And that night, she realized he wasn't even drunk. When she finished speaking and stepped back, he immediately got up, steady on his feet. There wasn't a single sign of dizziness. His eyes burned with resentment as Hess stared at her, but he didn't say a word. Instead, he turned and walked away fast. Since then, whenever they crossed paths, like at the recent auction meeting, he would pretend not to see her. He had already moved on to a new target. But little did he know, that woman was secretly have a relationship with Awerin. He probably thought they were just business rivals. In reality, they were two women looking out for each other, both smart enough to keep their distance from him because they saw him for what he really was. Mevika had always been wary of men who approached her with ulterior motives. And with Awerin's warning, it became even clearer. There was no way she'd be interested in Ration. Truthfully, she had never been interested in any man. When she entertained conversations with them, it was more about curiosity, trying to understand feelings she had never experienced. That was until she met Awerin. No wonder he never dares to come near you again. You were bold to say that to him. Mevika laughed after hearing Awerin's story. Yeah, he was completely sober, and I'm sure he hates me for it. But even so, I doubt my words truly sank in. He's still chasing after women like always. He's the type to keep playing his little games. That's why I want you to be extra careful with him. Don't meet him again, no matter what. I have no reason to meet him anyway. That day was just a mistake. I didn't know it was him. He's really cunning, isn't he? Even went as far accessing another company's name just to set up a meeting with me. Mevika picked up her glass of water, took a sip, and set it down. He do anything? How did he act? Well, at first he just talked about wanting his younger brother's company, which owns a large store, to rent space in Superior. He said it would make it more convenient for customers to shop, and eventually they could expand their branches. The conversation was normal for a while. We were eating while talking, though I only ate from my own plate. He ordered a lot of food and kept inviting me to try some, but I didn't touch anything. After I finished eating, I told him I had to leave. That's when he stared at me and moved around to my side. Why did he move? Awerin's face immediately turned pale. He said I had a grain of rice stuck in my hair, so I instinctively reached up to brush it off, but he said it was still there. The room was a traditional Japanese-style seating area, so he got on his knees and started crawling down to my side. The moment he leaned in, I rang the service bell, loudly. He was startled by how hard I hit it, and within 5 seconds the staff opened the door. Then I said, "Check, please." "Ugh, he really tried that on you." Awerin gripped her spoon tightly. "I handled," reassured her with a smile. When the staff arrived, he quickly said he'd pay for everything. But I didn't want to owe him anything, so I left 500 baht for my one dish, grabbed my bag, and excused myself. I told him I had another appointment in the evening. Then I went straight to see you. The traffic was a bit heavy, so I arrived late. I wanted to tell you right away, but I was more worried about you at the time. Even though you had just gone through that. Awerin set down her spoon and reached for Mevika's hand on the table. "Thank you. Next time, if anything seems even slightly off, or if he tries anything again, you have to tell me, okay? I'm worried about you. He won't stop bothering you until..." Eventually, he'll have to realize he can't win. But until then, you need to shake him off completely. Just ignore him, it'll be even better that way. And since the bidding process isn't over yet, you might still have to run and tow him. Mevika smiled. "I'll be careful and take good care of myself. But if I can take care of you instead..." Awerin intertwined their fingers, holding Mevika's hand tightly, as if making a promise. Her eyes met Mevika's with unwavering sincerity. "Take care of you."